Prasna Upanishad. Prasna Upanishad. There is a text that has been asking you questions for roughly 2,500 years, and it has been waiting patiently for you to notice. The Prasna Upanishad, the Upanishad of the 6 questions, belongs to the Atharva Veda tradition and was composed somewhere in the 6th or 5th century before the Common Era. In that extraordinary period, when the forests and river valleys of northern India became places where men and women sat down together to ask the most fundamental questions a human being can ask. We do not know the name of the author. What we know is the name of the sage at the center of the text, Pippalada, and the names of the 6 students who came to him. The Prasna Upanishad is one of the principal Upanishads, a direct inquiry into the nature of breath, mind, consciousness, sleep, the sacred syllable, and the self that underlies them all. It has been studied, chanted, and contemplated without interruption across the centuries. Here now is the text itself. The 6 questions, the Prasna Upanishad. The prologue. 6 seekers, Sukesha, Satyakama, Sauryani, Kaushalya, Bhargava, and Kabandhi, all burnt by the fever of the world, approached the sage Pippalada with logs in their hands. They were looking for the real. The sage said, "Stay with me for a year, live in silence, in discipline, and in faith. Then ask what you will. If I know the answer, I will tell you." Canto 1, The Origin. Question 1, Kabandhi's Inquiry. Verse 1, The Pair. When the year was over, Kabandhi asked, "Sir, from where are all these creatures born?" The sage said, "The first father desired children. He sat in the silence of meditation. He created a pair, the food and the breath. He thought, these 2 will make the world for me." Verse 2, The Light and the Dark. The breath is the sun, the food is the moon. The food is everything that has form, the solid, the liquid, the clay. The breath is the formless light. The sun rises and bathes the world in its fire. It gathers all the breaths of the earth into its own eye. Verse 3, The 2 paths. There are 2 paths for the wanderer, those who live in the villages, who work for children and cattle, who perform their rites and tend their fires as householders. They go by the path of the moon. They go to the world of the fathers and return to the earth when their merit is spent. But those who live in the forest, who practice austerity and faith, who are students of the sacred and who hold to celibacy, they go by the path of the sun, which is the northward course, the path of the year. They go to the high places, and from there they do not return. This is the waking. Canto 2, The Master of the House. Question 2, Bhargava's Inquiry. Verse 4, The Bragging Senses. Bhargava asked, "Sir, how many powers support the body? Which of them is the greatest?" The sage said, "The space, the wind, the fire, the water, the earth, and the speech, the mind, the eye, and the ear, they all stood up and bragged, 'We hold this house together. We are the pillars.'" Verse 5, The Verdict of the Breath. But the breath, the first servant, said, "Do not be deluded. It is I alone, dividing myself 5-fold, who keeps this body from falling into the dust." The senses laughed. They did not believe him. Verse 6, The Collapse. To show them, the breath made as if to leave the body. As the breath rose up, all the senses rose up too. As the breath sat down, they all sat down. Just as the bees follow the queen when she leaves the hive, the senses followed the breath. Then they understood. They bowed to him and sang, "You are the fire, You are the sun, you are the rain that feeds the earth. You are the king of the living. Canto 3, The Shadow. Question 3, Kaushalya's Inquiry. Verse 7, The Secret History. Kaushalya asked, Sir, from where is this breath born? How does it enter the body? How does it divide itself to do the work? Verse 8, The Shadow of the King. The sage said, This breath is born from the Atman. As a man casts a shadow, so the Atman casts the breath. It enters the body through the work of the mind. Verse 9, The Five Servants. As a king appoints officers to different villages, so the breath appoints its branches. The main breath itself stays in the eyes and the nose. It is the presiding lord, the director of the city. The down breath guards the gates below at the two lower openings. The equal breath sits in the center, between the two, digesting the food and distributing what is offered. The up breath leads the soul upward and outward. At death, it carries what is good in us toward the higher worlds. And the pervasive breath flows through all the rest, moving through the 70,000 veins, carrying nourishment to every corner of the house. Canto 4, The Night. Question 4, Sauryayani's Inquiry. Verse 10, The Sleeper. Sauryayani asked, Sir, who in the man sleeps? Who stays awake? Who is the spirit that sees the dreams? And in whom do they all find their rest? Verse 11, The Gathering of the Rays. As the rays of the setting sun all gather into the golden disk, so all the senses gather into the mind when a man sleeps. He does not hear, he does not see, he does not taste. People say he is asleep. Verse 12, The Dream King. But in the dream, the mind is the king. He sees again what has been seen. He hears again what has been heard. He creates new worlds, new sorrows, and new joys. He is the actor and the stage. Verse 13, The Total Rest. When the mind is overcome by the light, it no longer dreams. Then, in that silence, there is only peace. As birds return to the tree at evening, so all things, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, the space, the eye and what can be seen, the ear and what can be heard, the nose and what can be smelled, the tongue and what can be tasted, the skin and what can be touched, the speech and what can be spoken, the hands and what can be grasped, the feet and what can be walked toward, the mind and what the mind reaches for, all of these return to the supreme Atman. He is the seer, the hearer, the knower. He who knows this witness becomes all-knowing and enters the all. Canto 5, The Word. Question 5, Satyakama's Inquiry. Verse 14, The Three Measures. Satyakama asked, Sir, if a man meditates on the syllable Om until he dies, what world does he win? Verse 15, The Ladder. The Om is both the lower and the higher. If he meditates on the first measure, the sound A, he returns quickly to earth as a man of power and faith. If he meditates on the second measure, the sound U, he is lifted higher. The hymns of the Sama Veda carry him upward. The knowledge of the Yajur Veda is his companion on the road. He goes to the world of the moon, to the intermediate radiance, and when his merit is spent, he returns again. But if he meditates on the third measure, the sound M, on the Supreme Person within the sun, he is freed from his sins as a snake sheds its skin. He is led to the world of the real, where he sees the person who sits in the heart of every body. Canto 6, The 16 Parts. Question 6, Sukesha's Inquiry. Verse 16, The Hidden Person. Sukesha said, A prince once asked me, Do you know the person with 16 parts? I did not know, I told him the truth. Now I ask you, sir, where is that person? Verse 17. The 16 shadows. The sage said, he is right here, my friend, inside this very body. The 16 parts are the garments he has woven for himself. The breath, faith, the space, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the senses, the mind, the food, strength, discipline, the mantras, action, the worlds, and the name. Verse 18. The ocean, but look at the rivers. They flow from every direction toward the ocean. When they reach the ocean, they disappear. Their names are lost. Their shapes are lost. People say only the ocean, so it is with the person. When the 16 parts reach the person, the parts vanish. The names are lost. The shapes are lost. There is only the person, partless and immortal. Verse 19. The hub, he is the hub of the wheel. The parts are the spokes. Know him so that death may not shake you. Verse 20. The farewell. The sage said, this is all I know of the Supreme. There is nothing higher. The 6 seekers bowed to him and said, you are our Father. You have carried us across the ocean of Avidya to the other shore. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.